Multinational companies breathe easy. The budget may finally clear the air on intergroup share transfers. Sources are telling your channel that the Finance Minister Arun Jaitley is likely to clarify that a share sale between a foreign parent and its Indian unit will not attract any tax in India. However, this will be one important clarification that MNCs will be keenly awaiting in the union budget.
The move comes at a time when the Modi government is working hard to put an end to tax terrorism. On the flip side, any share sale by the MNC parent to a third party will attract capital gains tax, and the onus will be on the foreign parent to pay up the tax. Experts say bilateral tax treaties will, however, continue to hold the key in such cases. The government's big move on transfer pricing and its implications on both MNCs and foreign investors, that's our top story on Business Tonight.
Tax terror is what Modi and Jaitley want to end, not just for India Inc. but global investors as well. On the agenda is a predictable and transparent tax regime for the budget. Jaitley is keen to close the controversial tax policies, and so after categorically deciding not to tax share transfer between Indian arms and their parent companies, North Bloc is now working on providing clarity on this matter further. So when Arun Jaitley presents his first full-year budget, he is likely to clarify that when shares transferred by Indian subsidiaries to their parent company are sold to a third party, the transaction is liable to a capital gains tax here in India. This capital gains tax on parent company will be prospectively levied. Remember, the capital gain is the difference between acquisition cost of assets and its sale price. Now the question arises, why will a country where a transaction is taking place allow the capital gains tax to be paid in India? The answer lies in the tax treaties that India has with over 85 countries. These tax treaties entail that the capital gains tax will have to be paid in India, even though it is a higher tax jurisdiction, because the underlying assets are in India. At a time when the government is trying to put a lid on the controversies created by transfer pricing cases, will the mention of yet another capital gains tax not send shivers down the spine of global investors, or will it bring final clarity on this controversial matter? The answers are out on February 28th. Suchetna Ray, ET Now, New Delhi.
All right, let's get a more legal perspective on this matter and take it across to Mukesh Bhutani, who is joining us. He is the managing partner at BMR Legal. Thanks very much for being with us, Mr. Bhutani. The story that we put out, and this is an ET Now exclusive, is this move by the government going to clarify on capital gains tax, and is this a welcome move, or do you think this could perhaps just add to more confusion and make investors jittery?
Well, I think you're dealing with two independent issues over here. The first issue is the issuance of share transaction, for which that controversy has been set to rest by the Bombay High Court by saying that when you issue shares, since it's a capital transaction, it is not exigible for transfer pricing provisions. Now the second transaction that you're talking about, which is a subsequent sale, obviously the subsequent sale will be liable for capital gains tax, because you are going to make capital gains out of any sale, provided you make such gain. So that is a completely independent transaction. Even the current reading of the law today doesn't leave any doubt that if a transaction is liable for capital gains, that capital gains also is subjected to the transfer pricing provisions if the transfer is between two resident companies. So I don't know what clarification the government is looking at, but the reading of the law today is very clear. Capital gains transactions are exigible to transfer pricing provision. It is a capital account transactions which are not exigible to transfer pricing provisions. And there is a difference between a capital accounts transaction and a capital gains transaction.
Mr. Bhutani, the last time we heard about the transfer of assets that are underlying in India was when, the current president and the former finance minister, Pranab Mukherjee, presented his last budget. We all know what happened subsequently.
Now you're referring to a third issue altogether, which is the capital gains arising out of underlying assets located in India. If that be the case, obviously capital gains will be payable under the retrospective law. But that has no connection as such to the current controversy on transfer pricing provisions we are looking at it. whether the government issues a clarification or doesn't issue a clarification, that we need to wait and read what the clarification looks like. But at this point in time, specifically on the share issuance transaction, I personally don't see the need for the government to issue any form of clarification.
All right, the government is not needing to issue any form of clarification, but just when the investor sentiment is looking up, is this kind of a clarity required at all?
I think the reading of the law is very clear, and to one aspect of the law, the Bombay High Court has clarified and the government has decided not to appeal. So I don't know what is left to be clarified in the law.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.